You may have heard that Disneyland Paris will be getting a new land in the form of Frozen. That's because Disney just held its media summit over there. I think maybe it was November 24th right there, in which they had all kinds of media and press actually come out. And they showcased their, I guess, third version of this land, as crazy as it is right there. And it looks fine. It looks about as good as the other Arendelles, let's say, available in Tokyo at their Fantasy Spring section.
Third time in forever.
Yes, the third time in forever. And it, maybe looks as good as the Hong Kong version as well. And that's why I think a lot of people weren't necessarily impressed with what they did here, because even the ride is, well, the fourth Frozen ride. And unfortunately, it is almost exactly the same as the one in Epcot, the one in Hong Kong, and very different from, unfortunately, the one in Tokyo, which I think is the superior version. And if Disneyland Paris was going to get that, that would have been awesome. But people were excited about something else that debuted that day, Jonas. A certain character come to life in the form of Olaf. Let's go ahead and hear what we have to hear about this from Imagineering.
Coming to life in a whole new way. We will have, for the first time in forever, a self-walking Olaf.
It's incredible. We're going to have next generation robotics characters, and this is the latest cutting edge technology.
Olaf.
Oh my gosh, you're here.
We were just talking about you.
So excited to see you. I can't believe you're here. Frozen.
There's so many people that are super excited to see you here.
No.
Walt Disney Imagineering Research and Development did such a beautiful job on creating this Olaf self-walking character. And it's really a symbiosis between the latest in technology and storytelling. And I can't wait for our guests to see Olaf in real life.
I know our guests and our fans are just going to absolutely love this.
This is horrible. This is horrible.
Well,
and somebody's going to go, why do you think it's horrible? Because it is really cool. It's very cool. But you know how dirty that white texture fur or whatever you want to call that, because it's some kind of material, how dirty that's going to get when it's handled by children. Oh wait, it's not going to be handled by children.
Can I also say that the presentation by these two people is so inauthentic that it's distasteful?
What? You don't believe?
He also said the first time in
reaction?
forever. It's never been done before. Anyway.
Yes, it has. This particular doll's been done great as a Donald Duck character and many other things. This is nothing new. This is nothing I haven't seen before.
Well, I find the timing of all this very interesting, because the land itself, that being the Frozen Arendelle land, debuting at Disneyland Paris's Disney Adventure World, which is really something, doesn't premiere this year. It actually premieres March 29th of 2026. And so the question now comes about as to, why are you debuting something like this right now? It seems to be inexplicable why you would. And that wasn't the only thing either. Apparently, as part of this is Imagineering series, or We Are Imagineering series? I can't remember the actual name for it.
We
right
is
now, but
Imagineering.
We is.
Yes. The Imagineering series over there on YouTube that the Walt Disney Company is putting out on a semi-regular basis also debuted a number of other technologies, including audio animatronics that actually float on water, which is very interesting. A raccoon that kind of skips and hops and lands on a table, and so many other audio animatronics technologies. We'll see all of those in just a moment right here. But I find the timing of this all very, very interesting, because the biggest person, arguably, in our space on YouTube is Defunctland. And Defunctland, only 11 months ago, produced Disney's Animatronics: A Living History at 3.1 million views.
Wait,
and everybody
11
knew.
months ago? This is more like 11 minutes ago. This was 2 days ago.
Well, no. He produced an initial series on the history of audio animatronics, and then he produced another video, this time over 4 hours long, that being 3 days ago, and it already has 1.7 million views. And in that video, Jonas, he exposes WDI for maybe the frauds they are, or at least maybe that's how he would characterize them. And so this is all very interesting, because this seems to me like either the biggest coincidence on planet Earth, or it is Imagineering specifically clapping back at this kind of notion from people like Defunctland that maybe Imagineering doesn't have the audio animatronics superiority that they had to have others believe. And unfortunately, at around this time, you have people kind of saying, oh, well, I just watched Defunctland's video, and based on that, I know I'm never going to actually see this Olaf audio animatronic because, think about how long that we've been seeing the BDX droids, for example. How many people have actually seen them? And I think Defunctland actually calls that out and says, hey, we have this living character initiative, or we have these animatronics that they debut at these different venues, and yet we've not really seen them available on a massive scale consistently for guests paying good money to be in their parks. But if you do pay good money to be in their parks, well, unfortunately, you get maybe attractions like this, in which you have a ride on Pirates of the Caribbean in which none, I repeat, none of the audio-animatronic figures are working. And you can actually hear that the audio is working.
Wow, that's creepy.
But the audio-animatronics are not. So I kind of bring it to you guys. Do you believe that Disney would respond to a content creator like Defunctland with,
yes,
I'm telling you, millions of views? His Fast Pass video had 25 million views.
Yes.
He is a big content creator in this space.
Yes.
Or do you think it's maybe a coincidence?
I think you're absolutely correct. But the thing, for those of you who have not watched the video, because it's 4 hours and 20 minutes long,
it's worth it.
And I don't agree with everything he says. Also,
Sure.
he's very dismissive on some things that I don't think he should be dismissive of. But he also agrees with us, whether or not he's even heard of us, that a lot of the moves that Disney makes are specifically aimed at shareholders and are not necessarily for people who are actually in the parks. So when they they do the jangling keys of, oh, we've got an Olaf animatronic. Oh, have you seen the robot? Have you seen this? None of that is anything that anyone should ever expect to see when they go in the parks. The dragons are brought up. By the way, Universal actually does do dragons above their park now. The Stuntronics, which whatever,
Short-lived.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that is trying to brand the Disney company as a technology company that is going to do things that will amaze you. But the human element, and he is correct when he says this, the human element will always get in the way, because you need a human there to create a human interaction. When it's not a human doing it, when there is not a human puppeteering this in some way, and it can be a switchboard, whatever, just like they do with Mario and Luigi at the Epic Universe. Forgive me if I've just ruined some child's day. There has to be some human operating these things, because people do not care for non-human robots interacting with them. The same thing with, how do you treat Siri? How do you treat the AI and you interact with? You don't treat them like an actual human. The point being made that when Star Wars depicted droids, they depicted them as something that all humans dismiss and don't have a real relationship with, unless you're a child.
Yeah. It is profound, and I think with this proliferation of new technologies and the Imagineers bringing these characters to life and doing these experimental things, the human quality, I think, is most important. And I would say, look, if you're going to showcase these things as much as they do, you have to make them consistently available in the parks. Otherwise, you're just kind of, I guess, patting yourselves on the back without any real substance by which could really benefit a guest experience. I think the only thing we've actually seen in the parks from this new Imagineering video that they put out was really the Stuntronic. And even then, that's been degraded to some degree. Not the Stuntronic itself, but the running show around
the experience.
Culture.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but this has been a problem for a long time for Imagineering. And look, this is the problem with things being ubiquitous, things being available in the everyday. Very soon, you're going to have household robots. You're going to have chore robots in your own household. Animatronics will seem less special because these types of robots should be doing things for you already when in a theme park environment. This should be an everyday thing. There shouldn't be an absence of whether they're the RDX bots or any of the other things that you should be seeing and I should have been seeing for a long time, including the Donald Duck robot that I talked about for a while. All of these things have been done already. They're just not part of the everyday experience in the theme park. And we believe, people like myself, believe that because you're going to be able to have all of these robots in your life on a daily basis, there is zero excuse for Disney not to have better quality, more authentic animatronics everywhere in the theme park experience. If anything, it just puts on display their lack of effort, the lack of quality, and the lack of a genuine attempt to entertain or distract you. And I think that entertainment is going to be the hardest hit for Disney, especially when it comes to theme parks, because they aren't going to be providing what you could get in your own house every single day in the very near future. I'm sorry, 2026, I'm going to have an Optimus bot in my household. I fully plan on it.
You plan on wrestling that?
No. But I do. But I do.
I'm with you here because the point is this will become less special as robots become cheaper, which would be the only point at which they could put them into the parks is if they became cheaper. So there's a lot to it that it could be interesting. I wonder if they could use these for a movie, and that would be about the only instance in which I think this would be a good idea. Is if they could somehow get a robot puppeteered performance in a movie, that would be more interesting than a CGI character walking around because no one cares about CGI characters.
But let me ask this question, because when this is supposed to premiere in Paris, which is March 29th, do you think you're going to see any of this? Do you think you're going to see this moonwalking robot?
Only at the media event. Only at the media event. And that's
what we've seen from
it. Yeah, none of that.
From places like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, for example, we only saw the drones that the Imagineers made in cooperation with Boeing at the media event. We only saw the stunt work that between Rey and Kylo Ren that was actually choreographed and everything. Well, at the media event. And I wonder if something like this, while it makes a lot of headlines, it makes a lot of waves, it makes a lot of press, and puts WDI in this superior position when it comes to R&D and so forth, will these things just be limited to these very specific avenues at these very specific times, and the bulk of the 60,000 people that actually enter your theme park per day might not actually see them? It's super frustrating. And please, Imagineering, stop showing off the BDX droids. Please stop doing this because they're old news, they're old hat. Show us something new. A lot of this Imagineering special was dedicated to those BDX droids specifically. So please, Imagineering, get your act together. What are you doing? If you're going to show us something that is something tangible and that everybody who actually visits your parks can visit.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.